We have some Hadoop in the system. We can see the little yellow elephant there and a lot of the usual suspect. Cassandra, ArangoDB folks might not be all that familiar, but it's an add-on to Cassandra. Some Postgres, some Elastic, some Redis, and so on. Right on top of that, we build REST API in our UI.
So what we used to have at Finite State is something that was built over time and works pretty well until it starts to have a little bit too much debt and you need to refactor things. The problem is we had many different data access patterns in this infrastructure. It was pretty tough for our engineering team to know how to go from one database to the other and the way it was stored. And in particular, we didn't have a strong data model that was unifying all of this. Everything had its own data model. We had, if you look at this and think about the infrastructure, it was very complex to maintain. We had different jobs that were running to move data from one source to another and keep it in sync. And some of these were batch jobs that would take a lot of compute. And that leads us to it wasn't very cost effective for us to do it this way. This wasn't portable. We couldn't deploy it anywhere but AWS. We couldn't deploy it into a private cloud or on-prem, even pieces of this without a lot of work.
Then came the new architecture, which looks a little similar, except there is major simplification in the process, right? We still have all the devices on the left. We collect all the telemetry, ships this to the cloud. And remember here, we used to have a lot of different data stores, Cassandra, Postgres, Elastic, so on. We had some list over there, right? We simplified everything. We simplified this and use two things now.
Now, what we loved about ArangoDB is that because it was a multimodal database, we could get pretty much everything we wanted out of one particular database, and we could focus it for each of these different problems that we were solving.
And our bet to go from a place where we had literally 7 or 8 different databases to actually 2 for a large and complex application. And the way we're using those 2 databases, we have mostly avoided to split the state of anything between the 2, right? What we store in one place is one thing, what we store in another place is another thing. But Arango has really allowed us to create that big networking model that actually fulfill all of the requirement within a single database engine. So that was a huge gain for us.